Okay, this is going to be cool. We're going to do a whole bunch of poses that don't use your arms. Starting here in Tadasana mountain pose. I'm on a hill, so that's why I look crooked. You're not going to be on a hill, you're not going to be crooked. You're finding your feet. You're leaning your body weight into your toes, leaning your body weight into your heels, finding the inner and outer edges of your feet and balancing from your feet, taking your kneecaps into your quads. Quads rotate inward, shins rotate outward, your pelvis is stable, lower ribs go down and back, shoulders go up and back, chin comes out of your chest, head floats like a balloon. It doesn't really matter. None of that stuff matters. It's about lining up your bones. Find a way where you feel like you're lining up your bones, and breathe. All right. And then coming into a chair. In your chair, you want to have your feet under your knees and your knees under your hips. A nice sturdy alignment, just like an actual chair. And what I'm showing you here is that I'm rolling my shoulder blades back and down the back, and I'm grabbing opposite elbows behind me. That's not normally a part of the chair. The reason why I'm doing it is because I'm going to keep my arms like that throughout our practice, because we're not using arms in this practice. Now, about that shape of arms, you're not going to want to do that if you have a shoulder injury, right? Maybe if you had a wrist injury, it would be okay. It's basically just to remind me not to use my arms. But it is a nice heart opener if you want to add it in. All right, take your right leg back. Your hips are still facing forward. You're coming into the high lunge. Got your back heel off the ground. I'm keeping that elbow grab thing, the heart opener. It's nice. The high lunge, you're going to feel it kind of like, from the strength of your legs, you're going to feel it releasing your spine. It's a beautiful pose. And I'm going to keep talking. That's kind of my role here. But remember to just breathe. You don't need to listen to what I'm saying. Good. Okay, now we're going to turn our hips to the side and come into a warrior two. And I should have done it the other way so you could see this better. You'll see it better on the other side. The hips are facing the side now. That's the important difference between high lunge and warrior two. And the other important difference is that I shifted my feet. I changed my feet so that the front heel is bisecting the back arch. I'm in one plane here. I'm trying to get my body all in one plane. Still have that same heart opener going on. Again, that's not necessary. It's a legs pose. It's a balance pose. And just as in your high lunge, the sturdiness of your legs is releasing the upper body. Good, straighten your front leg, and we're going to lean our torso down over that front leg, which is now straight. Both legs are straight. It's triangle pose. Now, if we were doing this with arms, I would have one hand kind of on my shin of that front leg, but we're doing it without arms, which is cool. It's really neato. It's adding a whole bunch of core to this pose, which is like in our normal practice kind of a stretch, like almost a relaxing pose. And now here doing it without arms, we're like, dang, or I'm anyway. That's some core work and some leg work. Good. All right, come up from that and turn your hips back towards the front. All right, your hips are facing the front of your mat now, lining up to the edges of your mat. You've got that same leg behind you, and you're bending forward over that front leg. Pyramid pose. Both legs are straight. Now, someone more flexible than me would be coming down further than this, but this is pretty cool. Like that arm thing that I've got going on, which again is not necessary, is it's kind of getting me deep into my lumbar spine. I'm finding a little bit of a low back thing there, which is nice, and it's preventing me from rounding my low back and coming down deeper in the pose than maybe I should. Primarily, this is a leg stretch. All right. And then, bring up your right leg. It's warrior three. Everybody loves warrior three. I was standing on like a little tuft of grass or something, and I almost fell down like several times. There I go, almost falling down. Breathe here. If you need to come up and down on this pose, it's totally fine. I do not know why my foot is higher than my leg. I'm sort of like doing this weird dog pee thing there. I don't know why that is. It's interesting to watch yourself in a video. Anyway, keep breathing. Good. All right. Coming back to a forward bend. This is our first forward bend that we've done with both legs together. And it's great. Like as before, because of the position of my arms, I'm not able to round my low back and come deeper into the pose, which is really good. It's keeping me up where I need to be in my lumbar spine. I'm feeling tons of hamstring and tons of hip release here. I love forward bend. IT bands, maybe feel your IT bands here. It's a good pose. Good, all right, now we're going to do the same thing on the other side, starting with chair. This morning when I was doing this, I was pretty unexcited about the chair at this moment. I was like, oh, come on. Sitting down, you're finding your feet, you're finding your strength, you're finding your back, you're finding your core, you're finding your mula bandha, that is your pelvic floor. It's really kind of an important component of this and many poses. In fact, this whole sequence that we're doing is first chakra work, legs, and engaging your mula bandha, your pelvic floor, is great for all this kind of work. It's going to keep you really balanced. Coming back into your breath. All right. Take your, this time it's your left leg back. Your left leg is back, your back heel is off the ground. You're squaring your hips towards the front of the mat, finding your lunge. It's pretty cool because, like, you're not watching me because you're doing this, but if you were watching me, you would see that I am, in all of these poses, taking some real time to shift around, find the right position for my feet. And then once I find it, you can see the pose kind of spreading up from my hips up into my back. There's just like more release that comes as I get more comfortable. So, as I've said before, being comfortable in your poses is everything. Find that place, whatever it is for you. Okay, and then we're going to turn our hips to the side. Warrior two. Rearranging those feet so the front heel bisects the back arch. Really want to get your body in one plane here. And you can see better in this direction than the other direction what's going on with my hips here. I'm opening them to the side. Basically, in our standing poses, we have two forms of hips. Your hips are either going to be facing the front, as they were for most of what we've done, and we're going to go back there again, or they're facing the side, as they are going to be for our warrior two and our triangle. Okay, straighten your front leg, and we're going to lean down over that leg, coming into this kind of strange triangle without any arms. It feels pretty great. Remember to find equal strength in both of your feet and in both of your legs. Having a really sturdy platform in these standing poses is what allows the stretch to happen, not only in the legs, but in the spine. All right, come up from that. Turn your hips back towards the front and step your feet a little closer together. I have a really short pyramid pose, as you see. I'm coming down over my front leg. A lot of yogis like to have their legs really far apart from each other, really like a wide open angle here in this pose. That doesn't really work for me because my hamstrings are not that flexible. You can be wider if you want to, but the main thing is to honor your low back. Like, don't round that low back. Come down, release your hip, release your hamstrings, but don't come down so far that you're rounding the lumbar spine. Good. All right. Now the left leg comes up. Here we are in warrior three. This one was an easier balance for me than the other side. Trying to do long, slow breaths, even as we are working pretty hard. Okay, take that leg down, come back to your forward bend. I gotta say, out of this sequence, this was my favorite part. I loved both of these forward bends with my arms behind me like that. That was awesome. Really, really deep into the hips. Because, as I said before, I couldn't go down as far as I normally would have because of the positioning of my arms. Getting that little back bend added into the forward bend is actually increasing the strength in my legs. I mean, the stretch in my legs. Good, and now you think you're done, but you're not done. There's a couple more. You're going to take your front leg back and come into the straddle forward fold, Prasarita Padottanasana. And here's a pose where we traditionally kind of often do have the arms like this, rolling back and down the back. Usually we clasp our hands and let those arms come over the head. Sometimes we do like that. It feels good. It feels good to have this arm thing going on throughout. And you will know if it's not right for you, because if it feels bad, it's not right for you. It's a pretty big shoulder stretch. Good. All right. Heel toe in just a little bit, make it a little shorter, and come into your goddess. Here I'm trying to get my knees over my feet. Goddess is a deep squat. It's a muscular pose, really muscular. Normally we would be doing cactus arms with the arms, making the top half of the body match the bottom half of the body. But here, of course, I have my no arms thing going on. Yeah, I thought it worked great. I liked it a lot. This is a pose in which you will need to focus on your breath. Good. All right, we're going to do mountain pose. I'm releasing my arms, putting my hands in Namaste, and we're just... Mountain pose is not about standing there. It's about finding the right kind of skeletal balance and then the minimal amount of muscular support that you need to support your perfect skeleton. It's a meditation. All right, Namaste. That was some leg yoga without arms. Pretty fun. And now at this point, I thought I would take the camera and show you this ladybug that was on my mat that I was looking at like the entire time. But I didn't really know how to do the camera. I don't think you can see the ladybug. The ladybug was just for me, sorry. Nope, no ladybug. Anyway, Namaste.